Okay, another belief is it's too complicated. I'm sure many of you guys said this to yourself. When you're looking at different brands or doing competitive analysis, you're like, this is like way too saturated. It's not meant for me. It's way too freaking complicated. I don't know how to build the technical stuff. We've all said this to ourselves like millions of times, so we know what it feels like. But the great news is that it only feels complicated to you guys because it's new. E-commerce is literally just picking a product, building your brand, creating content for your brand, having the right story, driving traffic. So you need a website, obviously, when you create content to get leads into your website, and then you convert them to sales. These are the very basic, simple 5 steps. It's not easy, yes, but it is very simple. And after the ideation process of number 1 to building number 2, of placing you guys into making content around your brand, your story, like why you're here, why people should relate to you, because you each individually all have a story, I promise, that is very unique and somebody in the world will love it. There's going to be a raving community and fan club once you actually start. And number 3 is where people start, is just creating content. And creating content and then actually taking the feedback to get better at it. So that's just a belief, and I promise it's not as complicated as you think. Hopefully, when you guys next time say in your head, oh my gosh, it's too complicated, just remember that there's only 5 steps. The next belief is people won't buy from me. People don't care if you're new. It could be your first business, your 10th business, your 50th. People don't care about that. They only care if your product solves something for them or they actually want it, your brand feels real, and they trust you, which is why being able to make content in today's social media era is one of the quickest and simplest ways to get to your first $1 million online. And it's so crazy to see that once you guys actually capitalize on it and doing it, the whole belief system of like it's too complicated, it's not meant for me, just goes out the window, because your first sale of like $100 and then first 1,000 and then 10,000 and then 100, you just prove yourself that these are the data points you finally have for yourself to be like, holy shit, I can do it. And I can do it again. Because I promise you, when you can do something once, you can do it again, but better. And you'll see people who have 500 followers online, yet they're making $1,000 a month extra on top of their 9-to-5 job. So it's not about the followers, it's just about having the systems in place and being consistent. So e-commerce is not a dream and it's not a scam, it's just a literal system. And the women who win are the ones who just stop overthinking, they get serious, and they actually execute on the things that we talk about and the things that we learn and want to teach you guys, because we are living it day to day. And again, like I said, we're not special. We are already just in the ecosystem, and so are all of you, because all of you guys online shop, right? So you guys all know how to literally put your credit card to buy something online, and that's somebody else's brand or a woman that has built that from home, and they just one-skilled. And so you can be now on the other side, and somebody else can be inputting their credit card details into your website. And it's the same exact website, Shopify, Klaviyo. So just know that you're already actually in the ecosystem. So it's time to finally stop consuming and start building. Because a lot of the times when we're in content, we talk about consumer versus producer. So consumers are the ones who were just like doom scrolling. We doom scroll every morning, every night. It's so easy to be on the toilet and be like, let me just open up, social media app. But when you start going into the producer side, producers are the movie makers, they're the directors, they're the people in the movie who are actually making the movie to make $150 million to get into the box office, right? And then people buy tickets to watch it. So once you actually start moving yourself into the producer side, which is, oh my gosh, how can I make the content that other people can consume? I promise you, you will not be doom scrolling. You won't be actually like looking at other creators and being like, how did they do this? Because you're finally gonna be doing it. I'm gonna go over how to exactly identify this ideal customer avatar. When we finish your ideation process and you have the industry and everything like that, you're thinking about like, who is it that I want to sell to or have a message to? I know so many of us, when we first started, we're like, I want to sell to everyone. Well, unfortunately, when you sell to everybody, you sell to nobody. And the great thing in the world is that there's millions and millions and billions of people. So just because you have one group, don't think of it as, okay, like if I have this group, I missed out on the other opportunity. No. You want the raving fans, because it's so much more important to have 1,000 true fans in your community than 100,000 people who are just barely love you. Every single person that is scrolling, you're hitting their algorithm, and they are your ideal customer avatar. You're moving them from the regular journey of awareness, from not knowing who you are to slowly becoming a buyer and in your community and a fan and a person that is actually going to be reoccurring into your business and continuously purchasing from you from years and years, just like how we purchase from, again, like Aritzia, Alo, and we continuously just keep going back, not because they have the best quality, but because they have a great brand and marketing. So first, what you're going to do is research and gather data. We always want to look at like the customer's audiences. When you're first starting a brand or whichever industry you're in, for example, if you want to do lashes, we're going to figure out, okay, what is already happening, like who is already proving that there's a market for this. So we're going to be looking at, of course, competitors. And when we go to the competitors' audiences, we want to take a look at first their followers. Who are their followers? Like, why is their follower clicked follow button to land on our competitor's page? Who engages with their actual post, whether it's their reels or carousels? What are that person's interests and demographics? So a lot of the times when I'm doing market research or my team is, we literally go into our competitors' followers and websites and we take a look, like, what are they doing new right now? Who are they getting as a new customer into their brand? Like, who are those people? What type of people are they? Like, what are their demographics? Like, what do they like? What are their hobbies? Are they a girl who's actually in swim competition, or are they just a girl who's going to Vegas in a cute, hot little bikini, right? Like, those are different people. So we take a look at actually market research of like the competitor's page, which is the easiest and fastest way. Your competitor will literally show you who they're targeting. And then you take a look at the comments on each post. What are the customers saying? Because a lot of the times customers always go onto the page for feedback or to ask questions. We'll literally write down every single comment on our competitors' comment section, and we'll take a look, like, what are they asking for? Because these are proven methods for this brand to be as big as already. So it's very easy for us to take the data point and use it for ourselves, right? So what are the reoccurring themes and pain points where the audience is commenting, like, what material is this? Is it bamboo? Do you only have pink? How come you're not replying to our customer service? People in the audience of every single competitive analysis that you're doing, the answer is right there. And then you want to take a look at like the images that the competitors are also posting on their social media pages, whether it's a short form or long form content. So if you take a look at their Instagram, majority of it is pretty up to date. They post the most on Instagram because Instagram is the easiest to convert. But Instagram and TikTok, if you take a look at like who is posting, what are they posting, who are they hiring for these people, what do the campaigns look like, they will show you who is represented in their marketing material. And the visuals can give you a clue about like the lifestyle or age or the interests of their actual target audience. For example, like Earl Actives, which is Alex Earl's new skincare brand, who did 5 million in the first day. She sold out in 10 hours. Her target audience is probably, you know, the clean, minimalistic girl from Miami, LA, the gym, parties a lot, wants to take care of her skin, eats healthy, but also sometimes like binges. And then you also want to use social media insights. So if you have already been posting, you can take a look at like your demographics of where the person is from, who's already on your page, and countries, men, women, they show you all of that on the Edits app and also the Instagram Analytics app as well. So after you identify who your target audience is for your industry and the girl for your client avatar, then you will create a customer persona. Essentially, we're going to figure out where they're from, what's their demographic, what is their age, even down to gender, location, income, what do they do for work, all of that. Because it's very important that when you're creating your ideal client customer avatar, if they're scrolling and they're your exact ICA, how do we move that girl into your buyer power, into your leads, to your funnel to become a sales or a follower so that they can potentially buy from you later. Because there are so many people in the world, you want to have that one person that every single time that person is scrolling, you move them into your community. And that's how essentially you make more money, because they become a lead. And then we also go over to like their interests, values, and lifestyle. What does that woman do? If she's only into skincare, is she also into working out? If she's only into working out, is she also into eating clean, or all of the things, right? So psychographics of their interests, values, and lifestyle of the ideal customer avatar, alongside with their pain points. What problem are we solving for them? For example, I wanted an aloe pink sweater. The problem is I like pink and I wanted a sweater to work out in to cover up. So even if it's not like a big problem, it's still something that they're having their hard-earned money trading value for your valued item. So just think of it as like, what value is your item from your industry or whatever we're launching giving to them so that it helps them solve. And then their purchase behavior as well. Where does that person shop? Where is your ideal client customer avatar shopping right now, and what influences their decision? Is it from other content creators? Is it from influencers? Is it from UGC creators that are also like marketing this product, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I need this too because that person has it? Because a lot of times I'm also very influenced. I'll see somebody wear it, I'm like, that's cute, and then I'll go buy it. And when you guys are also doing this research as well, you'll also notice I fit into maybe Aritzia's client avatar, or a brand that you continuously purchase from, and you think about like why. So just getting into like the psychological understanding of that will allow you to also get into how can we build that girl to become into our business and get 1,000 and 10,000 of them. And then the last stage, when you are identifying your ICA, is really just testing and refining. After you start posting, you're gonna test and refine and ask your audience as you post, and ask questions, because they will tell you what they want. Literally, your money is in your comments and from your audience. You can ask them, hey, what do you guys think about this bamboo thin strap? Or what do you think about this strapless? What do you think about this material? And then you're testing it through your content so that you can track the responses, and also you just adjust as needed for the behavior that you'll get. Basically, whatever product that you guys have, asking your audience as like a small business stance, taking a position is so much easier than you think, and they will literally respond and tell you like, yes, I will do this, because they're the ones spending the money. And a lot of the times too, for me, I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is gonna do so well. And then the audience would be like, I don't even like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, my idea wasn't that great. So ask your audience as you're testing with your product and industry, because they will literally tell you, and that's your customer, that's where your money is.